Hey Centerpoint families, thanks again for joining us for another week of our Midweek Family Devotions. Now today is actually a Tuesday, and here in Alabama that is election day, and so I went out and voted this morning. I think it's very important for us to go out and use that right that we have to vote. But it got me thinking how we could use that for a midweek family devotion. And what I came up with is Paul told us in the book of Romans, it's chapter 13 verse 1, that everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from God, and those in positions of authority have been placed there by God. And so this is just a reminder that yes, we go out and vote, but God ultimately is responsible for putting these people in positions of authority over us. Furthermore, God gave us in His Word of how we are supposed to respond to these people. In Titus chapter 3 verses 1 and 2, it says, "Remind the believers to submit to the government and its officers. They should be obedient, always ready to do what is good. They must not slander anyone and must avoid quarreling. Instead, they should be gentle and show true humility to everyone." So, parents, this is where we might be a little bit convicted about how we respond to those who are in position of authority over us, whether it be our president, our mayors, our governors. We might sometimes not demonstrate for our children the best way to respond to those who are in position of authority. I know I'm guilty of it. But this is the opportunity for us to talk to our kids about how we are supposed to honor people who are in positions of authority. It doesn't mean we always agree with them, don't necessarily agree with their policies, but we can still show honor and demonstrate what it's like to honor someone even when we disagree. And so for the activity to do with your children, I'm going to ask you to get some pieces of paper, and on each piece of paper, write down maybe some appropriate and inappropriate ways we can respond to those who are in positions of authority over us. Some examples of appropriate ways would be to do what they've asked us to do. Say, "Sure, I will do it." To smile, to listen carefully and do what you're being asked to do. Encourage others to do it and offer help. So those would be some positive ways to respond. And some negative ways to respond may be to pout, to get mad and stomp your feet, to argue that it's stupid and you don't enjoy it, to whine, to complain. So those would be some inappropriate ways. And so write all of those down on a piece of paper, put them in the hat, and then take turns maybe playing charades, acting out the different responses, either positive or negative, and allow your children to say whether they think that it is an appropriate response or an inappropriate response. And then ultimately, after you've had a chance to act out ways to respond, talk about these verses that I mentioned. Again, it's Titus chapter 3 verses 1 and 2, and then Romans chapter 13 verse 1. Read those verses to your kids and talk about why God puts people in positions of authority over us and what He expects from us in obeying them. And then talk about what our attitude should be, about humbly responding to people in authority, being submissive, being obedient. Then I would suggest another great thing, getting ready to start into a school year. You can pray for our president, you can pray for our governor, our mayor, our principals, our teachers, people who are in positions of authority over us. So we can pray for them that God will give them wisdom to make the choices that they need to make, but then He would also give us the grace to treat these people with the respect that they deserve. Like I said, not only is it important to talk to our children about these things, it's important for us to model them. And so it's an opportunity for us to just maybe admit sometimes that we've gotten this wrong, but to show our children that we can respect those in authority. I hope you've enjoyed this family devotion for this week. As always, if we can do anything to help you and your family, please feel free to reach me at celia@centeringlives.com. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.